Situation in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir has turned into a theatre of brutality, with reports now suggesting that around 30 people have been killed from the region in the action led by Pakistani forces against peaceful protesters who've been demanding that the reservation of 12 seats in the so-called Legislative Assembly of Azad Jammu and Kashmir be repealed. While protests in the region are not a new phenomena, and over the past 2 years especially, there have been several protests by civilians demanding that basic amenities be made available to them. In the recent past, there have been protests demanding the availability of electricity and also against the rising prices of food items, including something as basic as wheat flour. But the latest protests, which have led to a massive action against civilian protesters by Pakistani forces, including the paramilitary forces and the Pakistani police, have been triggered by a decision taken by the authorities there to reserve at least 12 out of the 45 seats up for grabs in the upcoming election for refugees from Pakistan, which means that on these 12 seats, outsiders would be contesting and not the locals from the region. Now, after one civilian was killed in one such protest, on Monday, that is June 8, several others were killed after Pakistani forces opened fire on peaceful protesters who had surrounded a morgue at a local hospital in protest against the killing of their fellow protester. The protests have been led by the Joint Awami Action Committee, which is the biggest civilian platform of the region, which has been leading several protests over the past few years, demanding basic amenities for the people of the region and also raising the voices of the locals for availability of electricity, adequate food supplies, etc. In a message from the ground, Shaukat Mir, one of the top leaders of JAAC, has said that the Pakistani forces have resorted to brutality against the civilian protesters who had been peacefully protesting, and has also said that he and other leaders of the JAAC who have always resorted to peaceful protests to demand their rights are ready to die. Significantly, he has appealed to the Kashmiri diaspora abroad and said that they can now only trust God and the Kashmiri diaspora to raise their voices. Mir has said that Pakistani forces are now resorting to indiscriminate fire on peaceful protesters and simply wants to kill them. Now, India has reacted sharply to these developments in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, stating that while the region is an integral part of India, it hopes that the international community will take note of the brutality and misdeeds of Pakistan. Reacting on a question about the situation in PoK, the MEA spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal has said that there have been several fake videos which have been emerging from Pakistan in connection with the situation and have dismissed the same, stating that it is an effort to cover up Pakistan's own failure in the region. Now, significantly, the Kashmiri diaspora abroad has started raising their voice against the brutality that has been resorted to by Pakistani forces on peaceful protesters in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. And in fact, at least 50 MPs in UK have demanded that the brutal action by the Pakistani forces be stopped. Significantly, several members of the Kashmiri diaspora took to protest outside the Pakistani High Commission in London and raised slogans against the Pakistani Field Marshal Asim Munir and the Pakistani government. Now, with the situation turning grim, it remains to be seen if the international community rises to the occasion and takes steps to ensure that Pakistan is reined in from taking any further brutal actions against peaceful civilian protesters, raising very genuine demands for their own interests. We'll keep tracking all major developments from the region for our viewers here at India Abroad. This is Shikha Salaria reporting from New Delhi for India Abroad.